Hello, in this video I'm going to give you another 5 eBay buyer scams. So these are scams to look out for if you're selling things on eBay. And I'll do my best to tell you how to avoid these scams. If you've experienced any scams as well, do leave them down below and we'll get a little bit of a discussion going. This could be a bit of a warning page for people selling things on eBay. I've also made a few other scam information videos, and I'll leave a link to a playlist for those videos in the description box down below. Let's get on with the video. The over $250 PayPal scam. So in this scam, a buyer will buy something from you and everything will look normal. When they receive the item, they'll check to see what kind of delivery method you used. If you asked for a signature on arrival, then that's the end of the scam. They won't do anything about it at all. They might try and initiate a return if they really are trying to scam you. But if you haven't asked for a signature, then this is where the scam begins. Because it turns out that there's an odd thing on PayPal for items that are valued over $250. If you haven't asked for a signature on receipt of those items, then the buyer can open an item not received case and they will get their money back. It's as simple as that. If you'd asked for a signature, then they couldn't have done it. It's a funny loophole, I know, but something to watch out for. If you're selling something that's valued over $250, then you should ask for a signature on receipt. The credit card chargeback scam. So you may or may not know that you can actually add many different payment sources to your PayPal account, your bank account, your debit card, your credit card, etc. Well, that's probably about it, isn't it? A lot of scammers actually have stolen credit card numbers attached to their PayPal accounts. And what they do is they buy things from unsuspecting sellers on eBay, and then when the original owner of the stolen credit card discovers this fraudulent activity on their account, they then contact their credit card companies and their credit card gets cancelled. And crucially, the transactions get cancelled as well, and this is called a chargeback. As a seller, you do have a little bit of protection against this, funnily enough, using the eBay's Seller Protection Guarantee. Now, in order to be eligible for the seller's guarantee on eBay, you have to have shipped to the confirmed shipping address. Sometimes they might even get you to try and send the item to another address. Under no circumstances should you do that. As long as you ship to a confirmed shipping address, then even if there is a chargeback on this credit card, you will not be affected as an eBay seller and the money will stay in your PayPal account. But if you've shipped to an unconfirmed address or to the wrong address, then the money will be taken from your PayPal account. The change their mind scam. So the change their mind scam is actually just a collection of a lot of other different scams. Basically, a buyer receives an item through the post and they have a change of heart. I'm sure we've all bought something from a shop and then thought, nah, I'm not so sure I should have bought it. And then you take it back to the shop for a refund. The difference is, on eBay, sellers have to pay different fees, they have to post items to people. It's very expensive, especially for just individual sellers selling their own personal possessions to sort of pick up the pieces because a buyer has changed their mind. And unfortunately, eBay kind of facilitates this returns process for people who just change their mind. What'll happen is buyers will open cases like item not as described, even if the item is exactly as described, and they just sort of bully their way through until they get a refund. And I'm afraid there's not really much you can actually do about this scam. It's just a fact of life when you're selling things on eBay. But what I have noticed in my experience of selling my own sort of personal things on eBay is that if a buyer has got a lot of feedback, generally they're a pretty good egg. I don't know if that's a British phrase. It means they're a good person. And that basically means that they're not going to mess you around. You don't get a lot of feedback if you've got a habit of getting refunds, messing sellers about, or even messing buyers about if you sell stuff as well. But anything sort of under 100 feedback on eBay, and I start to kind of get a little bit nervous if I'm selling a high value item. The DHL Truck Scam. So every time I sell something on eBay, I am slightly concerned that I'm going to receive a sort of fake PayPal notification and ship the item to somebody only to find out that I haven't actually received any money at all. And this DHL scam, well, it's technically the UPS, FedEx, DHL Truck Scam, is basically that. You send the item to a buyer and they haven't actually paid for it. But this scam can actually be a little bit more advanced than I'm describing, because the buyer can actually send a DHL truck or a delivery company to your address to pick up the item. So you go to the front door and they say, oh, well, we're here to pick up this item. And you think, oh, well, this must be legitimate because this is DHL. So you give them the item, and actually the buyer hasn't paid for it at all. And then you've got absolutely no way of getting your item or the money back, short of going to the police. Only ever ship an item to a buyer when you have definitely received payment. And you'll know that because you'll go in your PayPal account and your balance will have increased. And you will know whether or not it's time to ship your item because you will have to physically go to the postal place or buy the postage yourself online. No one will ever just turn up at your house to collect your item. The "you have been chosen to sell our products" scam. So this is the most horrible, scammy scam in this list of 5 scams. So you'll get an unsolicited email saying what a wonderful eBay account you've got. Oh, you've got a lot of great feedback. You really look after your buyers, don't you? You've got excellent shipping speed, your packaging is great, and your items are always as described. We like you so much that we'd like you to sell our items. So basically these people will send you a listing or some pictures and some description text on the understanding that you will list them on your eBay account. You do that, you sell the item, you receive the money for the item, you then send that money to this scammer, and obviously the scammer isn't going to actually ship the item to the actual buyer of the items, and so you are left without the money, the buyer is left without their product, and when the proverbial poo hits the fan, you'll be the one left to pick up the pieces. You'll have to refund the buyer from your own money. The scammer still has the money you've given them. So basically, if anybody ever contacts you asking you to sell something for them, you must never ever do it. Thanks for watching this video. I hope it's given you some useful information about spotting scams as a seller on eBay. A lot of these scams are quite rare, but it's a good idea to keep an eye out just so that you don't get in trouble, basically. As I said before, I will leave a link to my other scam videos down below, and thanks for watching. Do subscribe, and I shall see you next time for another video.